So this life we came in contact with the practice of bodhicitta and practice of wisdom and emptiness. So the question is, what about next lives? This is one question. What about next lives? Shall we meet with these teachings or not? For that matter, two things to keep in mind. One is, what can we do that in the next lives we are connected? We are connected with the teaching of the bodhicitta wisdom and emptiness, number one. How to be connected. Number two, once connected, how to rigorously engage in the practice. Two things. We're connected doesn't mean that we will rigorously engage in the bodhisattva practices, for the reason that, for example, there are many, almost like for the Tibetans, like 99% of the Tibetans, they're born in a family. They're connected with the Buddhist teachings. And say they attend His Holiness the Buddhist teachings, and His Holiness always teaches on bodhicitta wisdom and emptiness. So they're connected. But how many are rigorously engaged in the bodhisattva practices? Bodhicitta wisdom and emptiness. So less. So to be connected doesn't mean that you will automatically engage in the actively engage in bodhisattva practices, number one. And then in many cases, to feel the connection, even that is very difficult. For example, there are 7 billion human beings on this earth. Just forget about the animals, insects, spirits, and so forth. Even the human beings, there are 7 billion human beings on this earth. And the 7 billion human beings on this earth, how many have heard about bodhicitta? Forget about the practice. How many of them even heard about the bodhicitta? How many of them even heard about the wisdom of emptiness? So less. So therefore, even to be connected with this teaching, the practice of the bodhicitta wisdom of emptiness, it is so rare, so rare. So, to be connected somehow, whether directly, indirectly, whether from the birth or at a later stage in your life, this is all because of the past merit and the past karma and some other factors in the past lives. So what is that factor which will connect us to the teachings? This is the question. Once connected, what are the factors which will make us rigorously engage in the practices? Two things. The first one, what will connect us? There is a very powerful prayers. Very powerful prayers will connect. Prayers will help us to connect, not necessarily to engage in it. Prayers will make us connect. So the first stanza, which we are reading from page 51, this is for us to connect us to the two bodhicittas in the future lifetimes. To connect, to feel the connection. Once connected, then to rigorously engage in these practices, there should be then another factor. Anyone can guess what can help us to rigorously
habituation to studies and habituation to meditation studies.
Exactly, yeah. Habituation. Anything else? Okay. How many of us we are habituated in, let's say, the writing things? We are habituated writing, but then how keen are we to write things? Not necessarily. Tell me one factor which everybody will agree that yes, this is the one which will directly make us to engage in it actively. Yes,
sense of urgency. Sense of urgency.
Okay, sense of urgency to be.
To become a Buddha as soon as possible.
Okay, sense of urgency, yes. Anything else? For example, for the Indians, young children, they have sense of urgency for the sense of urgency for Diwali, or for in the West, sense of urgency for Christmas. Joy. This is key. Joy. When you find joy, then this will drive you very strongly into this. when we find joy in it. So there are two things. What connects us to the two bodhicittas in the future life? That is done by
Prayers.
very powerful prayers. Prayers are said to be like, say, for the car, it is like this steering, which gives the direction, which connects. And the rein for the horses. Horses, where to direct the horse, driven by the reins. Likewise, the prayers, they connect us to the teachings. And once connected, then how to rigorously engage in this is by finding joy, feeling joy over this practice in this life. So the practice and the joy, if you feel it, if you combine this in this life so well, then the next life, automatically when you hear about bodhicitta, joy will come to you. When you hear about wisdom and truth, joy will come to you. But the joy comes automatically, you will feel like being with it. Okay. So the first stanza, page 51, is to connect us with the future lives, with the bodhicitta, and the remaining stanzas are to feel joy over having bodhicitta. Yes. Okay. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even in the course of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even in the course of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even in the course of my life. Okay, the next stanzas are taken from Bodhicarya Shantideva's text to feel the joy over having received Esprit Bodhisattva. Okay, together. In order to further increase the bodhicitta from now on, those with discernment who have loosely seized and awakened the mind of bodhicitta in this way should highly praise it in the following manner. Today, my life has borne fruit. We well obtained this human existence. I've been born in the family of the Buddha and now one of Buddha's children. Thus, whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family. Never shall I disgrace or pollute this noble and unsullied race. Just like a blind person discovering a jewel in the heap of rubbish, but likewise by some coincidence an awakening mind has been born within me. It is the supreme ambrosia that overcomes solitude of death. It's the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all poverty in the world. It's the supreme medicine that quells the world's disease. It's the tree that shelters all beings wandering entitled upon conditioned existence. It's the universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth. It's the dawning moon of the wine that dispels the torment of disturbing conceptions. It's the great sun that finally removes the mixed ignorance of the world. It's the quintessence of butter from the journey of the milk of Dharma. For all those who have traveled on the path of conditioned existence, who wish to experience the abundance of happiness, this will satisfy them with joy, and I shall place them in supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all protectors, I invite all to guests at a festival of temple and ultimate delight. May gods, demigods, and all be joyful. Okay, dedication prayers. I dedicate the merit thus gathered towards the realization of the deeds and the prayers of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 3 times, and to the upholding of the doctrine and scripture and insight. May I in all life prove the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect with the 2 stages. From my 2 collections, vast space that I have amassed, from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds were blinded by ignorance.
Gati